Okay, so I decided to do this video on how to do unemployment, how to do emergency assistance, how to apply for food stamps, the food assistance, as well as your Medicaid and Medicare. Now, keep in mind, I'm from West Virginia, so things will be a little different, but I'm more than willing to help you if you're out of state. But the DHHR had a website called WV Inroads, and that's where you used to go to apply for benefits, update your information, all that stuff. But now when you go here, it directs you to this page called PATH. That is the new website to apply for your food assistance and your medical assistance, as well as emergency assistance. You come down here to this little box that says apply now, and it'll pop up this opt government ID. I already have one, but if you don't have one, which you probably don't because it's a new site, create it. It'll ask you all this information. The security questions are a little weird. Once you log in for the first time, if you don't want to have to answer the security question every time, select the little box underneath of it. But I'll go ahead and log into this. That way you can see what you need to do. So once you log in, you're just going to go back to the same box here. It says apply. And then it'll say, well, crap. It already has my case open and everything. But basically, it will say, hey, this is the information you need to fill in. You'll fill in your name, your address, your social, all that good stuff. And it'll ask you, it'll pop up a little box. It has it's a web box. And it'll have 5 or 6 checkmark boxes to select from. Those checkmark boxes will say different things. You want to check for your medical, so it'll say Medicaid, Medicare, and you want to check the box for SNAP. Now, LEAP isn't an option there, which is our emergency assistance program, but once you put this through and you speak with someone from the Department of DHHR, they will direct you further. Now, for unemployment, you go to uc.workforce.org. And it pops up all these options. To file, you want to click to file your new claim, and then hit no if you haven't. Yes, if you have. Hit continue. And then it'll pop up the detailed explanation of, yes, this is how what we do, this is what you need. It says your social, your zip code, all that. You can read it, you don't have to. But if you read it, then you know exactly what you need to have. Start my application, and then it asks you the questions, and you go through all the questions. If you've been affected by COVID-19, it will actually ask you that somewhere in here. And make sure you answer all the questions or you'll have errors constantly. And then you'll have to go back through and be like, okay, what I miss, da-da-da-da-da. Now, after you fill that out, you'll have a confirmation of, okay, yes, you've successfully filed your initial unemployment, and you should be good to go. A person from the workforce office will call you. Same with the SNAP and the medical. Someone will call you and they'll ask you questions and go from there. But I always recommend once you do that, you come back to this screen. Sometimes it'll let you do it right after you file your initial claim. Sometimes it won't. But once you get approval for unemployment, go back and set up your direct deposit, because if you don't, you're going to have to wait for the card to come in the mail, and that normally takes about 10 days. With everything going on, it's going to take about 3 weeks. So I highly recommend you go back and do your direct deposit. If it won't let you, just don't forget about it later on when you're finally approved. And then moving forward, you have 2 options to file your weekly claim. You have to file on Sunday. Normally you would get it on Wednesday. I've heard of people getting it earlier because of everything going on. But you can file your weekly claim here. So you just click that. And it'll ask you your social and your PIN. When you file your initial claim, make sure you put your PIN as something you are going to remember, because it is extremely difficult to get someone on the phone right now for anything, let alone to reset your PIN. Don't forget. But that pretty much covers the SNAP and the medical. Like I said, for the emergency assistance, when you fill out those questions, they'll ask you, do you have a shutoff notice for this, a shutoff notice for that? If you do, hit yes when you speak with the person from DHHR for your medical or your SNAP. Make sure you tell them, hey, I have shutoff notices, and I can't pay it because, I don't work. If your unemployment goes through before you speak with DHHR, make sure you tell them that you're receiving unemployment. They can look it up in the system. Unemployment. If you happen to be receiving any kind of emergency pay through your work, you have to report that. Even though it's not technically wages in lieu of notice, that's the category that they want you to file under. So you will do that with your weekly claim. But be sure to tell them that when you speak with them, because if not, you can get in a lot of trouble. And if you don't do that on your weekly claim, say you are getting say you worked last week and you're claiming last week. If you worked 5 hours and you don't claim that 5 hours, when you call in for your weekly claim, it'll kick you out. It will present an error. It will say contact the office. If you worked that week, make sure that you say that you worked that week, because if you don't, you're not going to get your benefits.